Times, Mr. Speaker.
I call the honourable member Mike Sabin.
Thank you, sir. I'm happy to pick up from where my colleague Alfred Nara has left off on the social development area, sir. I want to talk about three important areas of significant change, in fact the biggest change in a generation by far, and that is work around the vulnerable children, the focus on youth, sir, and the change in the benefit categories and the introduction of social obligations, which should, one would assume, be a mainstay of the welfare system. But, sir, we've had a welfare system that has got out of control over the years, sir. And arguably, while it will always be needed, it doesn't serve the interests of those who need it most where it gets out of control. Sir, and so that bill is around $22 million per week to the taxpayer for some 320,000 New Zealanders, sir, but the lost potential in those individuals is capital that we can never really put a price on, sir. The changes around youth that we dealt with as a select committee last year, sir, deals with the 49,000 teenagers who are in that gap between education and training and employment. They've fallen into that gap, sir, and what we know for those individuals is if we don't do something about them, the chance of them finding their way onto an adult benefit and staying there for a significant period of time is very, very high. An unacceptable situation, sir, and the wraparound support, the payment card system, the mentoring system, the interventions that have been put in place there is about upfront investment in those young people who have often had a very challenging upbringing, and ensuring that we do as far as possible to make sure that they're either in employment, education or training, and that they are ready and willing and able to take up the opportunities when they appear, sir. And of course they do. And one of the things that we can't legislate for, sir, is attitude. And one of the difficulties that we see with young people today, sir, is a lot of them, unfortunately, don't share the attitude that their fathers and their parents and grandparents have done, sir, in that there is some expectation that society, that community sort of owes them something. And, sir, for those, I just want to share a little anecdote about my own family. My partner's daughter left school late last year and is now doing a level 3 course in the sports and recreation area, sir, with a hope to go on and do a diploma and degree in the area of sports and rec. Sir, she was a 16-year-old girl at the time when she left. She made her way off, found some accommodation, was boarding, and within months had a part-time job, sir, to help cover the costs of her new life. And, sir, she's now found her way into promotion in that job as a waitress, because her front of shop, because her attitude, because her willingness to want to excel and do well needs rewarding. And the employer, sir, is rewarding. And I can assure members of the House that she's earning well above the minimum wage, considerably above what many others would expect. And there is one reason for that, sir, one reason alone. It's because she's got off her backside and she's shown the attitude and the determination that actually, if I want something out of life, I've got to go and grab it. And when they do, sir, employers jump up and say, yes, I welcome you. Particularly in my electorate, where we're dogged in Northland, unfortunately, with a lot of people that think that the world owes them something and they don't actually have to meet it in the middle. Sir, so that we're doing a lot of work in focus on youth. The benefit category changes, introducing social obligations. Well, there's social obligations in every walk of life, in sports clubs, in the workplace, in the family. There's no reason why those social obligations shouldn't exist for those that are dependent on the state for welfare because they are not in work. And that is why they should be receiving welfare, because they're not in work, sir. Not because they can't find a job necessarily, sir. They're not in work. What we need to do is ensure that settings are right for them to be in work. And often drug use is a barrier to that. So introducing drug testing is a positive in that. Ensuring, sir, that children are enrolled in early childhood education, enrolled with a PHO, and of course getting their well child checks, that's a social obligation that means everything to those children, sir. And of course we won't be letting those that are on warrant run around at taxpayers' expense to evade justice and evade the police. But, sir, finally, in terms of the Children's Action Plan, here is a government that since 1999, with the inquiry into James Whakaruru, That Labor Party sat there and did nothing for year upon year, and the Children's Action Plan is a demonstration of doing, not talking.
Right. The question is that vote social development stand part of the schedules. Many of that opinion will please say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that vote defence stand part of the schedules.
It's Ministry of Defence, Mr Chairman, is it not?
Well, it's just got defence here. There's a defence force coming up there, Mr Goff. There's defence and defence force. Okay. Right, the question therefore is that the vote defence stand part of the schedules. Many of that opinion will please say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that vote defence force stand part of the schedule.
Mr Chairman.
I call the Honourable Philip